As a landscape photographer, you were told stay away from high noon, the bright light, the heat of the summer. Wait until golden hour or blue hour. Not this time. We're talking infrared photography. Let's go. Hello everyone, Carmine from New York here, photojournalist in Manhattan for the last 50 years, graduate of 2 photography schools. What am I doing on this channel? I'm giving back to you guys, the up and coming photographers or the old timers, when you just want to learn more about photography. Hello everyone, this is class number 291. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, please, keeps me going. All right, let's roll into it. This little fellow is the Nikon D60. Oh, he's not just an ordinary D60. This Nikon D60 has been converted to an infrared camera. That means that the hot mirror that generally sits in front of the sensor that blocks infrared light has been removed and replaced with a 590 nanometer filter, allowing almost only infrared light into the sensor. The 590 covers a spectrum that includes a little orangey red of the visible spectrum as well as the infrared spectrum, and it gives you photographs like this. All right, that photo is just a little tease of what we're in for today. I don't want to go too long. I just want to give you guys the experience if you ever consider getting an infrared camera. Now, quickly, I have tried using a Hoya R72 filter on a regular DSLR with catastrophic consequences. The exposures were 5 minutes long, because what you have when you use a Hoya R72 or any type of filter on a regular camera, it lets only infrared light in. Now when it gets to the sensor, there's a filter, the hot mirror, that blocks infrared light entering the sensor. So you have the filter that only lets it in, and the hot mirror blocks it out. Therefore, you need exposures on a tripod, minutes and minutes long. Now, first things first, cost. How much does it cost to purchase a Nikon D60 that has already been converted to an infrared camera? You have to picture about $200. Now, that is an investment, yes, but you're getting a camera as well. So what I'm getting at is it's actually a better bargain to buy a camera online on eBay from a 100% feedback seller that's already been converted for you, because number one, it's been done by a pro. Having said all that, check out this picture. Here's what's so cool about infrared photography. Not everybody can do it. Because it takes effort either to purchase an infrared camera that's been converted, right? Or to buy the filter and tripods, and then you have post-processing to do. Look at this photo. The photo I'm about to show you now is straight out of camera, raw file from the Nikon D60 of an infrared photograph. Now here's the same photograph after just a little bit of post-processing. It doesn't take much to post-process an infrared photograph. Okay, I'm just going to give you a little hint. I do not use Photoshop. I have never encouraged anybody to buy a post-production software where you have to pay every month, whether you use it or not. I use Movavi and Luminar. Now, I found that Movavi, it's a photo editing software. You purchase it once and you're done. Okay, if you're going to use Movavi to process infrared photos that have been in the 590 nm category, I'm just going to give you my settings. The first thing you do is you go with saturation plus 29, contrast plus 9, highlights negative 48. You could bring up the sharpness and the details plus 10. Temperature, I go plus 6. Tint, leave it at 0. The hue, H-U-E, negative 161. That's what gives you the blue skies. HDR, click on it. Magic Enhance, click on it. And you'll get photos like this. One thing you have to know, on eBay there are sellers that are selling small point and shoot cameras that have been converted to infrared. I highly recommend don't buy them. Here's the problem. A small point and shoot camera generally doesn't shoot RAW. You need to shoot RAW when you're shooting infrared. The next thing is you can't change the lenses. If the lens that's on that point and shoot camera gives hot spots, a hot spot is right in the dead center of your photograph. It's a white cloud. That's a hot spot. The reason is some lenses are not compatible with infrared photography. Many are not. So if you buy a point and shoot that has a lens that's not compatible with infrared photography, every photograph will have a hot spot and you're done. It'll take the joy right out of infrared photography. So if you're going to purchase a camera that's been converted, make sure it shoots RAW and make sure you can change the lenses. I'm going to put a link below to a corporation, a website that has done extensive research to give you information on which lenses do give hotspots and which lenses do not. When I purchased this Nikon D60 on eBay, the seller even said, use the Nikon 18-55 AFS DX G VR2 lens and you won't get any hot spots, and he was correct. I happen to have it. I'm sure many of you have it because it was a kit lens on many Nikon cameras. All right, let's keep going. I want to focus on why in the world would anybody want to do infrared photography like this? Because it's fun, because it's artistic. There's only so much you can do with a regular landscape photograph, right? Normally, not infrared. There's only so much you can do. Yes, in Luminar, you can change the sky a little bit. You can add some clouds. But there's nothing like the artistic value of an infrared photograph. Now, another reason is, like I just mentioned, not that many photographers can do infrared photography because either they don't have a camera or they don't have a filter and they just don't want to be bothered. All right, so you'll stand out when you show photographs like this. Something you may not even realize about infrared photography. Infrared light cuts through haze pollution, all garbage in the air. Your photographs look so crystal clear, it's mind-boggling, like in this photograph. All the photographs you're seeing today, I took with the Nikon D60, rated at 590 nm. Like I said, it lets a little bit of the orange and red spectrum in. Now, I want to show you photographs I took with my 720 nm converted camera. It gives no visible light spectrum, almost no visible light spectrum, just pure infrared. And it gives the most gorgeous other artistic feel of art photographs. Check this out. This one I'm going to show you is a 720 nm infrared photograph. You see, it's totally different. The 590, this one, gives those bright gold. In fact, sometimes people call the 590 infrared camera the Goldie, because it gives those trees the golden look. Where in 720, it gives pure white. It turns anything green. All your leaves and your grasses turns them white. Now, as long as we're on the topic of the color, when you shoot infrared photography, you have to set your camera on a custom white balance. Do not use auto white balance. It'll be nearly impossible to get it right in photo editing software. This is what I take with me. Just a green piece of fabric. You can use anything. You can use when you're out in the field, ready to take landscape infrared photographs. You can get nice and close to the grass, fill up the frame, get nice and close to the green leaves, and preset custom white balance your camera. For every camera, it's different. Check the manual. And by the way, you can always, if you don't have your manual, or you're not familiar on how to set your camera on a custom white balance, just go to Google and put in the make of your camera. Like in this case, put in Nikon D60 PDF. And 99% of the time, within the first 5 results, you'll click on it and it'll be the entire camera owner's manual. And it'll show you how to preset custom white balance. So I take this with me when I'm shooting infrared, nice and big. I lay it out, making sure the sun hits it, the lighting that I'm going to use for that day, because every day the sun's different, right? The time of the year, it sets a little more, the time of day, the whatever. So this is what I use to set my white balance, custom white balance on my infrared cameras, whether it's this Nikon for 590 infrared work or 720 infrared work. All right, you have to set it to something green. All right, when you're shooting regular photographs, not with infrared, with regular photography, I just keep a little gray card right in my pocket. This one happens to be the digital gray card from aps-c. All right, they're not a sponsor. I just want to tell you, it's sturdy, goes right in your pocket, and you're done. One of the reasons why I use the Nikon D60, why I purchased this already converted from a seller on eBay. He had 100% positive feedback, and he was from the UK. The reason I liked this one, there are a more expensive one. This one's about $200. No lens, by the way, but you do get the battery and the charger. The reason I picked this one is because, number one, it is inexpensive. It's a 10 megapixel aps-c crop sensor camera. A reason why I bought it is low ISO. When you're shooting infrared work, go on the lowest ISO you can to keep the green nice and low. Now, here is the best benefit of all of why shooting with a converted infrared camera beats shooting with your regular camera and a Hoya R72. Handheld photographs. With a Hoya filter on your regular camera, like I said, you need a tripod and you're talking 5-minute exposures. With a converted camera, whether it's Nikon or Canon or whatever, once your camera's converted to infrared, you take regular exposures. I shoot aperture priority, f8, ISO 100, handheld, and I'm getting on a bright sunny day. Remember, infrared photography is best on a bright summer day, high noon, because that's when you're going to get the best bang for your buck, turning those green leaves and grasses different colors like this. So I just want to remind you that in infrared photography, nicknamed false color photography, you're in control of the colors. That's where post-production makes you become the artist. You can change reality. It's just a gorgeous art form. Infrared photography, try it. You will be hooked. Hit the subscribe button, and this is Carmine from New York City saying good